Everybody, so in this problem we're going to be using double angle identities to solve for sine of 2a and cosine of 2a. So here it says, suppose that a is an acute angle and sine of a is 48 over 73 and cosine of a is negative 55 over 73. Now, one thing, believe it or not, by giving you sine of a and cosine of a, they're telling you what quadrant you're in. So you need to think this ratio is positive. So that means sine is positive and this ratio is negative. So cosine is negative. So I need to think which quadrant do I have a y value, sine, that is positive and an x value, cosine, that is negative. And that's going to be quadrant 2. So we want to go ahead and draw our triangle here. So let's do that. Okay, so here's my triangle and I can go ahead and put A here. Now, they tell me sine of A is 48 over 73, right? That's my opposite over my hypotenuse. And then cosine is adjacent, so that's negative 55 over 73, which we already have from the sine ratio. So now what they want us to find is sine of 2 theta and cosine of 2 theta. Well, now that we have all three sides of the triangle here, all we're doing is just plugging in our ratios into our formula. So sine of 2a is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So I'm just going to plug in my ratios here. This would be 2 times sine. Sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, so 48 over 73 times cosine, which is negative 55 over 73. So now we're just multiplying straight across. 2 times 48 is going to be 96, and then 96 times negative 55 is going to be negative 5,280. And this is going to be over 73 times 73, which is 5329. So this is going to be our value for sine of 2a. Cosine of 2a is going to be cosine squared minus sine squared. So these ratios were given to us in the problem. So cosine is negative 55 over 73. We'll square this and we'll subtract sine, 48 over 73. So here we have negative 55 squared minus 48 squared, and that's going to give us 721, and that's all going to be over 73 squared, which is going to be 5329. So notice how sine here becomes negative and cosine becomes positive. Now sometimes that can be confusing because what you are taught to do is you always reference this triangle. Well, let's look real quick. Let's say we wanted to know the value of this reference angle A. So I could simply do inverse trig. So let's do this real quick. What if I said that inverse sine of 48 over 73, all right, that's going to tell me what the value of A is. So if I do that real quick, if I have inverse sine and I say 48 over 73, that's going to give me about 41.1. So this reference angle here is 41.1 degrees. Now the measure of the angle here is going to be 180 minus 41.1, which is 138.9. Now you'll notice sine 2a and cosine 2a, you're taking this 138.9 and you're doubling it. So if I said 138.9 times 2, I get 277.8. And you'll know that 277.8 is in quadrant 4. And in quadrant 4, your cosine values are positive, which we got here, and your sine values are negative, which we proved here. So this is why the sine becomes negative, and then the sine after your math becomes positive here. All right, that's going to be all for this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see you all in the next video.